Oh, well,
Hey,
hi.
everybody. Welcome to a surprise episode of VFX and Chill with me,
Boo.
Hashi, and my good friend Michael right here. Uh,
Hello.
Hashi is running the live stream. Live scream, which means that we
Yeah.
probably will spend the first half hour trying to figure this out.
Yeah, we need to know, first of all, can you hear us? I know you can see us. I know just make sure that you can all hear us too. So let us know in the chat if hearing us is a thing that is happening.
Excellent. Yes, if you happen to be watching this on Action Movie Dad or Action Movie Kids or Maxon or the Maxon training team, I do encourage you to find this very same live streaming on the VFX and Chill channel. It's a fun way to get to, be in the main chat, be around all of us. The reason I'm speaking a little weird is because I'm hearing myself echo like a moment later. And my mic seems a little bit low as well. I'll try to fix that up. Michael, how is your Halloween going?
Well, it's quite fun. Our 5-year-old wants to be a scary clown for Halloween, so my spouse has been teasing out this costume wig to make it nice and poofy, and he's gonna get like red and put like a fake blood on him. He's very excited, and our 6-year-old wants to be a glow in the dark skeleton. So we've got that costume is already ready to go. So that's all. It's all very exciting. Oh yeah, it's just a skeleton, like a black jumpsuit with like bone shapes on it that are in glow in the dark paint.
Excellent. I think I finally got rid of my own. I was monitoring to myself, but it was delayed a little bit. Seth, how are you doing this week? I think Seth in pixel form cannot speak. It's actually because our good friend Seth Worley is just out being a famous person, schmoozing with the top elites of Hollywood. Now I'm muted.
Oh, it says you're muted. Yeah. But yeah, so as Hashi was saying, after he got himself muted. Oh, now it says you're back.
Wait,
anyway,
I'm back.
As Hashi was saying, if you missed it, Seth is not here, so we weren't going to have a stream, and then we were like, you know what, we can do things for ourselves. We can do things.
So I totally thought I could do things. I opened up OBS, which I hadn't been doing in quite a while. Do confirm if you can hear me now, because I think that I'm back.
Can you hear Hashi? Is he back? Let us know.
Lovely.
Oh, he's
excellent. I was testing one of the things that I thought would mute it to me, my feedback to me, but it was muting it to the stream. Anyway, we figured we could totally manage a live stream. How hard could it be? And if you happen to see our, we have a very in-depth breakdown of our OBS setup in case you are a live streamer yourself and want to see how I'm very low. It says, let's see. Let me turn myself up there, and I can saddle right up to my mic a little bit more. And maybe I can, let's see. I'm trying to increase my volume a little bit. Please do let me know if I do legit get any louder. I'll try to saddle right up and watch my levels. They look good to me, but I don't know how.
So long as we can be heard, I think we're good.
Because we have a lot of important stuff to say, mostly which is
well, no. I mean, we both have some fun stuff to talk about today. It is the spooky season, so I am planning to do ghosty effects
Ooh,
stuff.
nice.
Yeah, I know I've done some ghost stuff before in previous spooky episodes, but I just figured out a new, better way to do for something. So here's my plan.
Okay.
I'm gonna do some ghost effects in After Effects and some ghost effects in Cinema 4D.
Ooh, I love
And
that.
both of these are just going to be like, I don't have anything prepped or planned. I'm just going to be kind of like, I've got an idea of where I want things to go, and I'm going to head that way. But, you know, who knows if it'll work? And if something does work, you may get to see me create a Tip Tuesday post live on air because, I've got to have some tips for next Tuesday, and it being spooky season, maybe I can do a ghost tip for Tip Tuesday. So we'll see how that goes. Hashi, what are you planning to do?
It's a good question. I was thinking of doing some Halloweeny things as well. Specifically, I've been playing a lot with cloth sims this week, and I thought that I might try a couple of things. One thing I had an idea for, and I've not quite cracked it in Cinema 4D, is I thought it would be fun to make like a little like cloth sim ghost. Just your standard
Oh, that's
like
what I'm
a
doing. That's what I'm doing.
yes.
Yeah,
But
I'll do that.
what I
I got
want to
it.
happen is I want to do it with this like scary face that I've sculpted in ZBrush, and so like right at the end,
I'm not doing
it's
that.
suddenly all the cloth sucks tight to the face and gives you a little jump scare. That was my plan.
Oh, that would be good. I like
So
that
I
plan. That's
started
good.
briefly on this the other day, and
For those of you who follow Red Giant social media, you may have seen Hashi's one of Hashi's cloth sims
uh,
uh,
yes, I've been.
yesterday, which got some fairly amusing reactions to
Let's
it.
see. Let me see what happens if I press this button. Who knows? It might end the stream. We'll see.
No, it just
It
goes
just goes
this
to blank. All right, let me.
blank. I mean, we're there. The logo's there. Things are working. So, it's not died.
Okay, it's not
Oh,
died.
yep, the logo's
All
animated.
right, I'm gonna come back to here for a second. I'm gonna see if.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is this called? I press this button over here, and I'm just gonna go check if my screen cap is working right now. It looks like. Oh, there we go. It was just not choosing the right thing. Du-du-du-du-du-du. Okay, let me see if this works. And
Jason Murphy just said, "Is it weird that my brain fills in the auto drops? Like my brain just went the brush." Yes,
oh man,
that's
that's
not
a
weird at all. It's
good
very normal.
point. Hashi has no
But yeah, again,
access
this
to
isn't
these
a normal.
drops, so it's going to be a
Yeah, this
drop-free
isn't a normal
episode.
VFX and chill. No drops.
So yeah, I was um, over the week playing with this bad boy, which isn't reminiscent of anything.
I should call him. Someone said. No, I should call her. I should call him and remind him to update Cinema 4D because it's got great cloth sims. Is what the comment
We don't
said.
discriminate. But it it is it has become a phenomenon online to see these posts that are like increasing polygons worth of cloth sim. This particular
Yes.
one, for reference, is about 600,000. And actually, one of the reasons why it is, I mean, look at this craziness. One of the main things I can point to show where a lot of those polys come from is I've added Cinema 4D's signature thickness to the cloth, which is something that I've ignored in the past. But I figure I'll just play this again and see how long we can continue to stream. But I was actually incredibly proud of how well this actually worked out. And in case you're curious
I
how
mean, as you should be. It looks
self-aware I
great.
was, the my original render was not as colorful either.
That pink one is very pink.
The pink one is very pink. This one I felt like was a little bit more boringer. And then this morning, I had rendered this
Oh,
overnight. I figured that I would
yes.
try going artsier with it. Because in my mind, I had this great idea for what this was going to feel like. I thought it was going to look like, this like very, like dramatic, statue sinking.
Uh-huh.
But in the end, once again, just everything, uh, everything reminds me of cloth sims. Is what happens
Everything
there.
reminds me of Class Sims.
So anyway,
And by the way, if you're watching the replay later, there are some amusing comments in the chat that I will not be repeating on the air, but you can watch the chat playback if you want to see them.
exactly. And one more reminder to our lovely viewers: we would love if you wanted to watch this exciting show on its host
Family, its native
Let's
channel.
see, which I guess we could say. Let's see. You know what we need for that is I don't have any of the drops and screens ready to go, so I'll just put up. I'll make a temp one right here.
Just put on. Yeah.
Let's use. What should we use?
Ricoletta or
wait.
Obviously bold.
Am I not spelling obviously right?
No, for some reason it doesn't show up in that search sometimes. After Effects is a little weird with it. You got to go scroll to it.
Weird.
I don't know what the problem
It's
is.
not in my recents either. Oh, come now. Okay, fine. Let's go down to. Goodness, I'm looking through the alphabet. It's a very professional show, everyone.
Anyway, if you just go to youtube.com/@VFX and chill and subscribe, we would appreciate it. At VFX and chill.
All right.
That's where this. That's where all the replays will live. You could do Ricoletta. Or Recoletta, or whatever it's spelled. Oh, yeah, there you go. Graphic design is my passion.
Hell yeah.
Font.
Look at this. So profesh. It'll see our channel is too big to fail. Goodness. It's a haunted live stream is what this is.
Speaking of haunted live streams, you want me? Can I start? Can I talk through my basic idea for making a ghosty?
If you would like, feel free to share anytime, and
I'll start sharing my screen. Hang on. Okay, don't switch yet. I'm going over to Cinema 4D, and then you can switch.
This is going to be our official graphic right here.
I'm going to put this window so it's not in the way. Okay, put it there. All right. You can look at me. Look at me now.
Hey, look at that.
Hey, what do you know? It's the interface of Cinema 4D. Oh, Enya Wed Black wants to know, what are both of our Instagrams? I am The Great Zalam, so The Great and then SZALAM. I'm not very active on there, but I keep saying, someday I'll start posting more stuff. Most of my work is NDA for my freelancey stuff that I do, so you're not going to see a lot of it on there.
I think that it's.
But I should, I really should. I should start posting more tests and just fun stuff on there, just to remind people that I exist.
I finally started posting some more stuff on Instagram and Threads, which I've been kind of neglecting. I am awkwardly the action movie kid because, first of all, Action Movie Kid came about sort of accidentally. We needed to call the channel something and came up with that. And then when it went viral, we were sort of stuck with it. And so then I sort of became Action Movie Dad on some stuff, but for some places we had to add the to it. It was a whole thing. But I like that we both have a the. I think I spelled those correctly.
Yeah.
But back to you, Michael, over here. Ooh, look at that.
Oh, right. So I'm wanting to do just the normal classic kid with the thing draped over his head, kind of a ghost, but without feet underneath because it's an actual spooky ghost. So one might think you would start with a disc, a nice round piece of fabric, because we want this ghost to not have any silly corners, because this is, smooth ghost. Now, you'll notice, those of you who are familiar with cloth sims, a slight problem with this is you've got this pinched pole here and very tiny polygons compared to these very big polygons over here because of this.
Precisely.
This is a parametric disc thing. Not ideal for cloth sims. You can do them. You're going to get some popping here and you're going to have a little spiky point in the head of the ghost. It's just not going to be good. So What is the solution to that? Why, it is a remesh, which is I never remember where they put it. There it
Right
is.
there. There you go.
So you can remesh it, drop the remesh in, and you'll see it looks fine, but you've still got tiny polygons and bigger ones here. How do you get these polys to all be somewhat similar? Well, if you tick this symmetric on Xbox, huzzah! Now that it wants to make it symmetrical across the x-axis, you end up with nice, smooth, like generally the same size polygons throughout.
I
Like that's
love
just
that.
an amazing tip right there, right? It works so
And
good.
check it out. I'm going to switch
I
to
just
my screen
discovered
for a
that the other day.
second. When I was doing this pinball sim, exact same thing. You realize right away that without a remesh, you get very bizarre shapes for sure, and lots of folds in places where you wouldn't want the folds to be. And so I went with the exact same type of breakdown that you did as well, remeshing this so it had more square uh, particles like that. Anyway, remesh your mesh. Whoops. Oh, what have I done?
Yeah, and
There
that
we go.
that that little make things symmetrical box does a pretty good job if you do it on one of the axes. Apparently, it doesn't like doing it in both. But I do want some more geometry than I've got there for a cloth sim, so I can crank this up to maybe 500 mesh density. It's a very handy slider here in the remesher that you can just add more or remove if you wanted to go
Yeah.
have fewer
If you've
polygons.
ever used the
Like
polygon
it's so
reducer
good.
tool, basically remesh is the new way you want to do it because look at those beautiful lines. It's nothing like
Yeah,
the
like
like
it's correct.
the polygon reduction really triangulates the points and averages them, and so you end up with a lot of new polys. So
This works way
this is
better.
really cool.
Yeah.
All right, what
And
is
look, we've preserved the nice round edge. I do want to point out also that I've made this about 6 foot in diameter or in radius, I mean. So our ghost is about normal human male height. I mean, I'm taller than this ghost, so you'd definitely see my feeties below this one, but it's fine. And then we should probably have a head to put on it, and we'll make this head, I don't know, 6 inches in radius. That's a fairly big head, but it's fine. Now, again, because we're doing Sims, I don't want this weird pinchy bit here, so I'm going to change this to an icosahedron that we don't
oh, look
need.
at that nice
I mean, it is
distribution now.
right, all the same size exactly. It's great. And then, because we're going to be simming this, I'm going to put this below it. This is going to be our little driver for how the head moves. And I should probably put a vibrate tag on here to get it moving around. La, 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 animation tags, vibrate tag, and we'll just able to position. We'll start it at 0, just the beginning, so everything kind of for sure is sitting there, and just
That's
make
my one
sure that
beef.
this
I'm going to
thing
point it
behaves
out for
itself.
the record is that I want I want the vibrate tag to have an enable or not, and when you've unchecked it, it's preserving the original. I'm making a note.
Yes, it's a good note to have. So, uh, for them, so I've got my thing. I'm gonna start there. Then I'm gonna go up to I don't know a second in, and we'll start it moving. So we'll make our frequency a little lower because we want it to kind of be more of a spooky movement. And I'm just guessing at these values here. We'll come back to these here in a bit once we get the cloth actually moving on it. Oh, I forgot to hit. Forgot to say make the keyframe there. What a silly goose.
Whoops. I,
Make the
I do
keyframe. All
something
right, there
that
we go.
gives one of our good friends and trainers, Darren Frankovitz, who's in the chat right now. I keep my auto key
Ah,
enabled the
how
entire
dare,
time
how
I
dare
work.
you?
It's so fun.
How
It's so fun.
very
Live
dare you?
dangerously is what I
Don't
say.
do that. Oh, never do that. Okay, here. We'll see how this works once we start animating. Once you start ghosting, I mean. So we've got that the sphere. Let's make this a collider. Simulation tags, collider. And I'm going to say make it pretty sticky because I want the cloth, stick to the top of it. And we'll hide it because we don't need to see it at all. And then on our remesh, we'll say simulation tag, uh, cloth. I can't see. Got this bright light in my face. And you know what? I'm going to say, since this is ghosty, I probably want it to have much less mass, so it'll be more floaty. But let's just see how that looks when I hit, hang on, when I hit play. There we go. Oops, not
Nailed
sticky
it.
enough. It's falling right off. I mean, it's close.
Let's grab a
Let's see,
little
let's make
grab a little
this.
little more friction there.
stickiness. I'm just putting stickiness up on the cloth and seeing
See,
that
I
it should
always
do
worry
it.
that the stickiness like will
We'll make it stick to itself. Yeah.
yeah. Like I
We'll
feel
put
like you can
friction up
make
then.
the collider object have like high friction and some stick.
See, it's
But
still, see, it still wants to slide off. You know what I could do? Instead of messing with the
I know what
stickiness
you could
mess,
do.
what could I do?
You could add a cloth belt
Could add a cloth
or a
belt,
connector.
but I was gonna try that. I want to see if that works. Can I
Do
add?
it.
I don't think that
Do
kind of
it.
connector.
I
That's the
love
thing I
this.
want.
I'm lost in what you're doing. This is very fun.
There's a way to make. Okay, so I don't want this kind of connector. I just
Oh,
want
just
like
right click
a
on it and
cloth
say
connector.
connector
Yeah.
under
Simulation
exactly. There you
tags
go.
connector. There we go. And
So
then
connector tag is a useful like it's so much faster to me than uh, like adding a cloth belt, adding selecting some points, pressing connect.
but the problem is, I think I need this thing to be, instead of a collider, I think it needs
Oh,
to
it needs to
be
be an
a rigid
oh,
body.
you're right. I see.
Yeah, which is fine. I'll just set it to be simulation tags, rigid body, and then I'll just say, hey, rigid body, you're going to follow the position
Good.
and probably the
That was a
rotation.
good tip right there.
Oh, hang on. Let me see if my connections will happen. Connections. Not seeing them though. The annoying part. I'm too far away.
How are you navigating
There
them
we
in
go.
3D, by the way?
How am I navigating 3D? Why, ladies and gentlemen, I am if you see my right hand is up, which is where my mouse controls are, and yet I'm still being able to move. I can go all the way upside
Did
down,
you
spin
hire
around it.
a friendly ghost to
So
do
I've got
this?
something I can't quite hold up into camera because I've got the cords kind of tied down because I'm on a desk that goes up and down. I've got something called a 3D mouse, space mouse from a company called 3D Connection. And
Wait,
actually,
I thought that wasn't
since you've brought
compatible
it
with
up,
Cinema
uh,
4D. According,
it
it totally
is
is.
it is not only is it compatible for, but if you want to animate your camera with it, you can. I made a tutorial on it just
What?
yesterday. So if you go to the link that is in the chat, you'll come to my very quick little tutorial on how to animate a camera using a space mouse in Cinema 4D. It's a sneaky little cheat because basically, well, anyway, watch the tutorial when the stream's over. You'll get it. But anyway, we got our connections going, so things should be good to go now. Going every which way. But while I'm thinking about stuff, I think for we need some more drag on this cloth, so it's more ghosty moving. See if
Love
that
it.
works. There we go. Hey, look at that.
Ooh,
Move it around all ghosty.
I love that.
And so I think that's working out pretty good. I think we definitely need more mesh density. So, you know what? I don't have to crank it up there either. I can also crank stuff up here and get more segments as well. So I think I want that. Let me
I like that.
turn
And
those
the other
lines
thing that I
off.
would try is before subdividing it anymore, just throw it into a subdivision.
I could throw it to subdivision for sure.
It does a
Or
very what's nice is it keeps it well, it's arguably
for the
lighter
cloth
weight,
surface.
but is
So let's look at the lines again. And you can see with the cloth surface on subdivisions 1, 0,
ooh,
1, it's already done that. And so this is I can also easily add, a touch of thickness to things. Centimeter thick, that's a very thick cloth. Let's do 0.1 centimeters thick. So there we go. And well, I was going to do something else. Oh, simulate forces, turbulence, and some higher strength or bigger scale, probably some less frequency. We'll see how that goes. All right, here we go. Look at that.
that's so
Got our
pretty.
little ghosty movements. Could probably make that move a little
I love
faster,
it. Is
but
there
yeah, there you
what
go.
is your cloth stretchiness, or is it the stickiness that's making you do that? Oh no, someone
Michael Palak, I
someone popped
I
the
have a
ghost.
Wacom Intuos 3 Correct. A Wacom Intuos 3 and a Space Mouse. So I have my Wacom, which I'm also using as a mouse. I've got both the mouse part and the pen part. So I'm using my mouse on my right side, my Space Mouse on the left side. So my hands usually on the keyboard for keyboard shortcuts. I wish you could see what I'm doing. My left hand's usually on the keyboard for keyboard shortcuts and all the commands and stuff. But then when I need to move around, I just, without looking, grab my Space Mouse because it's right here. You could see it at the corner of your eye because it got a little blue LED on it that helps. But I just muscle memory, I know where it's at, so I can just reach over, grab it, move to be wherever I need to be. I mean, I can't talk enough about how much I love this. I get all pissy pants if I have to work in 3D without it. Because having to do the alt navigation or 1 2 3 navigation, drag your mouse around, is fine for a lot of things. But if you're modeling and you need to get upside down and then you want to turn like this way, for example, that's super hard to do with regular navigation in any 3D app. And the Space Mouse makes it a breeze to do that kind of thing.
I
Let
love
me
it.
show you more clearly what upside down is. Seeing like that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
I can go upside down, and then while I'm upside down, I can then very easily orbit. Like you can do, so good.
it's
Highly
so great.
recommend.
Yeah. You've never been a fan of the alt-right, uh, alt, you know, alt mouse navigation
Also, also true.
situation. I over here am right now working with. It came to my attention that our own Ian Robinson, IR Sculpts, made a pumpkin. I don't know if it was on a live stream recently or what, but I
It was.
heard
It
that
was.
Michael had
Eh,
this. It did not have textures. Is that correct?
Correct. There are no textures on it.
Excellent.
It's
So
just he sculpted it. He sculpted it in ZBrush for iPad.
look at that, sculpted on an iPad. I love it. And a nice and look at this. Look at this mesh. It's an insane mesh. Though what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to reduce that mesh to something more like game model level. And I kind of want to paint this up and make it into something. So the thing is, when this came in, it doesn't have textures as we'd mentioned. And so there's also, if you'll notice over here in the object menu, no UV tag to it. So what I ended up doing for this pumpkin here is I went into the UV edit for the pumpkin and used the set UV from projection using a spherical mode, which I actually like because ZBrush is probably Z-remeshing this multiple times throughout. The lines of this are pretty good. So I get kind of this nice up and down texture here. But what I'm going to try is something that I've done before, but I don't exactly remember how to do. But I'm going over to the Paint tab for this. And my goal is to, if you click on the Paint tab and then you go to a material like the pumpkin here, let me go back to just a nice object view. I might have reduced the polys too many times a little bit, but whatever.
Oh, sorry. Hang on for a quick second.
Yes.
Sorry, linear drift. It's the icosahedron is the type of sphere I was using. Although hexahedron also wouldn't be a bad choice. Also, for those of you who are interested in downloading this pumpkin, you can watch Ian sculpt it and download a free project file of this pumpkin sculpt at the link that's in this bio
Love it.
on the Maxon Training Team YouTube channel.
Oh man, I should make this one available afterward. Though notice that I've already significantly reduced its quality from what Ian sent us. That's because I wanted to try some random stuff with it. So I've clicked on my Paint tab here, and then I'm selecting the pumpkin layer right here, and then I'm going to right-click and say Enable 3D Paint, which should then allow me to, I don't remember if I need to say, go into here and say Add a new layer, or if that's all I need to do. Pumpkin, Objects, Pumpkin Mesh. Let's see, what have I done? I think Material Channel, I somehow need to add a new layer. Not add to new layer. Nuts. Can I say color? There we go. I think I've added an additional layer now. And I'm going to go, whoops, back to this view. And now can I paint on it? Yes, I can paint on it. Hooray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint up a texture of sorts on this, and then I'm going to export that texture and then try to mess with it in Photoshop to make it more realistic. Michael, I can share back to you if you are still doing things. Just let me know when you want
I
to
am still doing
switch.
things. Yeah, go ahead. I am ready to go.
Whoa.
So right now, what I'm doing, I've got a person here that I'm keying out using Primat Keyer. I'm going to make a ghosty person. And I like to point out that we are keying the background uh, and not this green apple, which is quite nice.
What?
But I
Incredible
think that
control.
there, but I don't know how well you can see this on the stream, but there are some pixels here that are not quite getting keyed out all the way. And if I here's a nice little pro tip for After Effects. You can crank up this little exposure thing here. You can go up or down. And what it does is it cranks up the exposure for what's showing here in your composition panel, but it's not an effect. It won't have anything to do with your render. It's just so you can troubleshoot what you're looking at. And if you've got some stuff that's been, that's on transparent, so it's barely visible on black, but you crank it way up, it suddenly becomes very visible, which is a very handy way to troubleshoot your keying. And so I'm going to adjust my black point on my mat to make all those little points go away. Just a nice little tweak there. And then you click right there to go back to your regular view. And you've got it. It's a much cleaner key. And so I'll go back to my thing. Hey, I've got some ghosty stuff going on. Now, I'm using
Love it.
Universe Ecto. I've just applied this at pure defaults.
Look at that.
Some people have asked, hey, what's the difference between, like, why would I use Universe Ecto when I've got Saber from Video Copilot? And I'll have you notice that I do not have any masks on this layer here. Saber, which is free and a great tool from Video Copilot if you're wanting to make lightsabers, has to have a mask or a text layer which has built-in masks to work. And Ecto works on the alpha channel, so you don't need to like auto trace your image or anything. It just works on something that you've keyed, which is great. So I'm gonna take this person who is very angry at this apple for some reason, and Echo
Oh
has
man,
already
nailed
given me
that.
nice warbly. Right, he's so angry. This is one of the fun things about stock footage sites. I didn't know I wanted someone angry at an apple, but I've got one.
There you go.
Um,
My
oh,
very
anyway,
favorite thing
Black,
on
as far
stock
as we
sites
spoke,
is every now and then you'll find like at least with Artlist or is it ArtGrid? Artlist. Um, you can navigate to
Art
the
List, formerly
shoot to see like all the
Art,
different
formerly
related
Art Grid.
things.
Yeah,
And sometimes it's someone who's
great.
like filmed a whole action scene with like characters and some
Yeah,
storyline, like a jailbreak or something. And I love the idea. I wonder if they are distinctly
sometimes you get
shot for
this.
stock purposes or like someone's short film didn't work out and they were like, you know what? At least I have all these great shots of someone trying to like fiddle with the keys in a jailbreak.
Right? So, so yeah, so this is I think this is from Artlist actually. Um, Forest might be too. Anyway, oh yeah, I think the Forest and the guy are both Artlist. But anyway, I just wanted a ghost in kind of floating in the woods. Oh, anyway, like I spoke of a plugin that can you easily use to change tiles for episodic work. No, not a plugin. That is just Essential Graphics, which is a built-in feature of After Effects. I will I might show essential graphics and essential properties
All
later.
right, we'll put that in the
Uh,
notes for maybe later. Also, if you're watching the
maybe later.
show, we came in here without a crazy amount of planning. Um,
Oh yeah.
and
We just said,
so
hey,
if
we'll have a surprise little live
yeah,
screen.
if there's some cool Halloweeny either effect or I keep on saying Halloweeny, and I the more I say it, it gets weirder and weirder. But if there's some cool effect from a movie that you like, especially something inspired by a spooky movie, feel free to drop it in the chat. If you're like, how do they do this in that movie? And Michael and I would be happy to try to explain. And
Yeah.
if you poke me just right, I'll get off on a tangent and start trying to recreate something that doesn't normally fit into a live stream, just because I'm insane.
I'm gonna tint our guy here because I want him to have ghosty colors as well. I'm going to put that tint above the Ecto. You know what? I really like the Ecto on defaults. So Ecto by default warps the underlying thing. So you see how he's kind of wavy, very ghosty looking. So you can crank the distortion way up if you wanted to get crazy. It distorts the glow and the underlying source, which is wonderful.
So yeah, so you
You
then
can
have The nice thing about Ecto is I've created this type of effect manually before a bunch. I think many
Mhm.
people have. Uh, but
Indeed.
what's nice about this is it's kind of a unified fractal system, and and all of the things are a little bit linked to each other. Whereas if you're doing it by yourself, you can certainly expression link things together to work better. So if you decide to scale the fractal distortion later, it's scaling other properties. But Ecto just has it all, uh, controlled from the
All
top
kind of all
level, and
it's
you can get as involved as you want scrolling those
yeah,
open.
yeah, Ecto is not like a lot of universe tools. Ecto is something that you could build natively in After Effects. It would just take forever to build it and render way slow. But Ectos runs on the GPU and it's kind of all built into the Universe engine, so it's nice and fast. And it also works in Avid Media Composer, Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, like all the other Universe hosts. So good luck building it in Avid.
Absolutely. So
So I think I like these colors that I've got going on here. I'm greenier.
nice. I'm going to switch back to you. I quickly am showing my screen because
Oh yeah, yeah.
what I'm doing is something very simple. I went and used the fill tool. Once I had added a little color layer to this in my paint mode, I can just do this really super simple painting. And what's nice about it is for this pumpkin, I don't think I'm going to need to get that detailed. I'm just going with something that is, kind of evocative of, the right colors. And this is all kind of exporting to, my uh, lovely, UV mapped color. And you can see how simple that is. But I think I'm going to be able to turn this into a great texture map using some cool Photoshop things. But yeah, I'll just be painting this over here. And Michael, I'm going back to you. I
Sure.
think.
You have fun with your painting.
Thank you.
So I want, I want my ghosty to look see-through. I think I will just turn him to screen. I think that kind of works, but maybe not. We'll fuss with this. We'll fuss with that later.
So,
Um,
ooh, I have an idea.
Actually, you know what?
This
You
is
know
going to look
what?
weird for just a
I've
second,
got,
everyone.
what are you doing?
There we go.
You
I'm
getting
going to make
crazy over
this
there?
like one of those weird uh, social posts where where someone's doing some weird activity in the corner. So yeah, I'm just making it so we can see what you're doing, Michael. But just in case people have a low attention span, they can just watch me paint up this pumpkin.
Watch you paint.
Yeah,
Frigby says your color blindness is really showing up. Hey,
you know,
Leonard Drift says, where is Ecto? Where is Ecto? I usually just apply it. It's in Universe. Stylize, possibly? Yes, Universe, Stylize, Uni Ecto, right there. As you notice, I usually apply effects using Quick Menu or FX Console. Quick Menu is a paid tool. It does more than FX Console can do, but FX Console is free. Oh, got it. Some Nice says we've got PIP going on, pumpkin in picture, which is excellent joke.
that is great.
But so I was thinking, I was just thinking, I wonder if I turn that back off, leave it on normal. If I do uni blend, oh, what's it called? No, universe modes, not universe blend. Universe modes is a very interesting tool. What uni modes is blend modes from one layer to another. And so you might think, wow, I've already got plenty of blend modes in After Effects. Why would I need a plugin to do blend modes? Well, first of all, if you're an avid media composer, you don't have blend modes. So hey, you're welcome. You can have universe modes. But not only does universe modes let you do one blend mode, it lets you do multiple blend modes simultaneously. And if you want to get really crazy, you could do custom blend modes and go really insane with different blend modes per channel. And you've got more blend modes like, let's see, greater than, min, like all this, less than, divide, like all this kind of crazy stuff to roll your own blend mode per channel if you want to get really crazy. I am going to blend with screen and multiply simultaneously, and I mix them together. See, so here's full multiply, here's full screen, here's blend, or here's screen and multiply simultaneously with extra foreground intensity and lower the background. No, background intensity can stay the same. So boom, there's one way to do a ghosty effect. So see how he shows up much better here because we're doing some multiplying as well as screening. So both together. It's working kind of neat. Darren Frankovitz says what you're working on, Hashi, is gorgeous, like gourd, but also
Well
gorgeous.
done. Well done.
Yeah.
Keep them coming,
Now the
everybody.
the problem with universe modes is that it has now taken things over. It takes this pixel information and puts it in here. So I couldn't affect him anymore separately from the background unless I did all, I had to do everything before the universe modes effect. But, it's a way to get this effect done. Universe modes is really, really powerful and really cool for stuff like great, crazy music video effects as well. But I am going to try something else. I'm going to put this back to screen. I wonder if well, first of all, this should be in the woods at night. So if I just darken this background, he'll show up better there anyway. But first of all,
Michael, it is always a treat
I
to
am
me
going
whenever
to
you say, "I wonder if," and then you hold up a little pinky finger to be cheeky about
I'm
it.
going to go to make things simple, show everyone super comp. And now super comp automatically recognizes this as an additive layer over top of this normal layer. So there are different sets of layers. And I wonder if I were to heat blur the background behind it, if that would make it pop up better or worse. Just curious. I don't know if it. Oh, my Wacom tablet does not want to work on there. Let's see. Let's try adding texture 20. No, probably not that. Blur of like 80. I mean, it makes the ghosty show up more. It blurs the background behind him, which I think is a great way to. I need to talk to him about that not working. Someone make a note for me to tell the Supercom people that Wacom pens dragging on that won't work. Let me grab my mouse part. The mouse works just fine. But anyway, so there you go. Now you're like seeing through the ghost, and that lets you get some nice. Yeah, that works.
Nice.
Oh,
And by the way, I'm very aware that I'm colorblind, but it's whoops, I might have lost Michael from the call. Hopefully, uh, let me see if I can get Michael back here in just a second. Let's see. This is saying something went wrong. So Michael might be frozen for a second there. I am going to. I cannot tell if it's on Michael's end or my end. I'm going to blame Skype. All right, so it's just Hashi here for a second. I'm going to try restarting my exciting Skype. It's weird. We had found after browsing all of the different types of ways to get connected for these live streams, it really turned out that Skype actually had the lowest latency on screen sharing of everything, which surprised me too. But I just wanted to let everybody know why we're going with that. I'm going to try to restart it on my end and see if I can get that call going again. But hopefully everyone can still see my exciting struggles. Let's see here. And let's see. I'll see if Michael can join again. Hopefully we'll get him back in just a little bit. But in the meantime, I think here comes Michael. Welcome back, Michael. Hey, you're back. Let me double check if I need to do anything to make your video start updating right here. Let's see. If I come back to here, you're still frozen. So I'm going to go back to this screen and just do a little bit of sorting out with your audio channel, your video channel. But in the meantime, you're welcome to speak as well. I think let's see. You may be there and you may not. Let me see if I might need to. Let's see. Reconnect. Okay, that makes sense. Well, it doesn't make me happy, but it makes some sense. Let's see. What if I say this? Computer, active speaker, remote connection. Yeah, I'm just going to delete your source, and then I'm going to try to add you back in. Oh my gosh. Source name. Oh no. All right. We still have Ghost Michael here. I can hear Michael, but you all can't. So let me see what we could do here. Add. Let me see if I'm going to stop my little NDI setting, and then I'm going to try to restart it over here. Let me see if I can restart this over here. More audio video settings. Start. Oh goodness, this is so awkward. Settings. General. Where are my NDI settings? So fun. So fun to know exactly what I'm doing. Audio, video, calling, advanced. There we go. Allow NDI usage. Now let me see if Michael is available now, if I say that. Source. No, I don't see you either. Sorry, everyone. So fun. What if I say, who is this? Remote connection. That's no one apparently. And what about active speaker? Oh man, Michael, I want to have you back. This is so. Oh no, Frigby says that's a twist that everyone else is dead, but Hashi's alone in the wasteland. Weird. Let everyone. This is so fun because Michael's talking to me, but you all can't hear him. But I promise he is. And I don't even know why your guest screen I can see, but well, yeah, but your screen is actually showing a still frame of where you left off, so it's not active. It's just a still frame, which I appreciate. It's not just a big black screen because it would show more of my failure per percentage of screen. But what I'm looking at here is shared screen. Computer shared screen. No connection 1. Oh, no idea what that is. No idea what that is. Shared screen. Okay. Can I disable it and then re-enable it? I don't know how I got this. I have no idea what that QR code is I'm showing. Ignore that. Don't anyone click on that. I think it's probably the NDI, it looks like some kind of NDI source thing. All right, I'm going to switch to this screen, which is mildly better for just the moment. But I don't know why I can't plug you back into this call. I feel like if I restart OBS, then I'll lose our stream. Let's see. Let me close my Skype all the way and then try. No, I just did that and that didn't work. Try it. Try it. We'll see what happens. Let's see. No, but what I could do for just a moment is, no, that doesn't really share anything either. But oh, it's hiding your video on my screen. Um, goodness gracious. Uh, all right. All right. I'm going to start, per Michael's suggestion, I'm going to start painting this pumpkin a little bit, and we'll see if we can solve this in a moment. All right. Fine. 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 Okay. Well, Michael is a ghost for the moment. Sorry, everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch back to over here. Um, I've been thinking about that, Jason. Jason has a suggestion to capture Michael's video and just share that over here, which I could technically do. And then I need to figure out how to make sure that my audio ports into here properly. So a couple of ways that we could try to get Michael back with us. But in the meantime, Jason, I'm about to use one of your lovely tools here. So maybe get ready to share where people can find this in a second. But as I've shown, what I'm doing here is I'm painting on top of this pumpkin. Not very good or anything like that, just so I could have some cool little materials like this. So what I've done is I've painted this little tiff right here. And if I go to here, I can see where I'm saving that. It's likely right next to my other textures for this file. Oh, whoops. Let me see. So I'm going to click here and say locate image. Oh, I guess maybe I need to properly export it first. All right. So I've made these two textures, and they're very silly, but I want to export them. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our over here and add a bake material tag to both of these. Whoops. Bake material, bake material. For the pumpkin, I'm going to go to here. I painted on what I think is the color channel for it. And I feel like you might be able to do it from over here to, say, save texture as, maybe. And then I can save it as, a TIFF or whatever. I'm going to save it as a PSD. Actually, whatever. I'll probably end up converting it to a TIFF. Let's save the pumpkin color right next to it, right here. Okay, pumpkin color. And then we're going to go to this one, and we're going to say file, save. Whoops. Sorry, wrong window. Save texture as TIFF. And we'll call this the stem color. Great. And then I'm going to play with them in Photoshop. Ah, look at that. There's our fun quick thumbnail for this episode. No need to save that. Let's see. Michael is technically back with me, but I'm going to see if I'm going to take another mild interlude to. What I'll do, I'll play this lovely statue butthole on a loop while I try to connect Michael to the call. Goodness gracious. Okay, so what if I had this closed, that closed, that closed, and I'd said on cam do this. Okay, now we can see a Michael. No, it's very unlikely they could hear you. Try saying something again, Michael. Okay, so that wasn't quite it. Properties. Okay, let's try. No, try sharing your screen. Why not? Weird. Now I'm probably doubled up. Do, do, do. Okay. Oh, wait. Did you hear Michael for a second, people? Okay, so people heard Michael for a second. And yeah, that does. Let me see if I can excellent. So my let's see, how can I view Michael larger? Grid view. Okay, so if I do grid view here and then I went over to Michael's cam, then in theory I could do this. So now Michael's sort of there. Now you can see Michael. And then what I was hoping to do was, I think that if I go to my little voice metery thing, this could destroy everything or really hurt people's ears if I'm wrong. So we're going to see if I stereo input. All right. Whoops. I'm just checking now to see if Sophia made it home. It's a crazy windy day. All right. Sorry, I am feeling not great about wasting people's time. You know what? I know that you cannot hear Michael, and this is a really fizzly out way to do this, but I think that I am going to maybe end this stream. I feel like I know I really don't want to, but let me see if I can let people see it. What would I do? I would say, okay, here's what we'll try. We'll try going to share screen. And I'm going to go to add another display capture. This is going to be a pretty lousy one. Okay. This is the jankiest solution. It's going to look very, very silly, but I'm trying, everyone. The quality is going to be pretty crap, unfortunately. Okay. Let's see if... okay, now I'm showing your screen and I'm showing you, but I haven't figured out how to make people hear you. Let me see if there's any possible way that I can do this. Let's try properties. Let's see if this is the test that. Let me see what happens if you talk, Michael. Whoops. I can't even move the chat over. Yeah. Everyone let me know if Michael shows up in the audio here at some point, because that would be really cool if so. Audio and video settings. You know what? I can do that. We've done it before. That's true. Let me see if I can switch what this property is. Michael, can you just talk for a second so I can watch to see if any...
Two people if you buy a case. Oh, I can hear it in my ear. I heard it. I hear myself talking.
Ooh.
This is
Can...
Hawaiian volcanic water, a company called Waikea, and they are all kinds of carbon neutral and blah 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 blah, filtered through porous volcanic rock, naturally alkaline with electrolytes and minerals. It's tasty stuff if you like, water. Oh, hey, can you hear me? Oh, hey, Michael Palak
Okay.
says he can hear me.
Okay, we can hear Michael. Do you hear Michael as an echoey? Michael, do you hear him twice, or do I just hear him twice?
Yeah, my twice is nice for you, or is it just a Hashi props?
You sound fine.
Sorry, Hashi, you can yeah. Yay!
Tentacles
All right.
complete. I've got to do the manual version of these right now.
Tentacles complete. Perfect. Great. No echo. Awesome. All right, we're back on track. So, when you left me, this is what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And so you lose definition in the face. Now this is what I've got. You've got his facial expressions back, and everything's visible because I've added displacement. So this heat blur option lets you displace based on this thing as well. Like there's so much power in just the two-layer stack here. Just because Super Comp is doing so many bajillion things in the background that you don't have to worry. All you got is a couple little sliders, and it's doing so much in the background.
It's amazing.
Look, I can even affect the luma balance.
All right, Michael, I'm
Of
going to
how
let
it's
you
doing things. Yes.
Just because it's a very professional show, you keep describing what you're doing, and I will be right back. I need to make sure that
Oh, okay.
everyone's home from school safe.
Same.
I'll be right back.
All right. So anyway, here's what we've got going on. We've got our ghosty guy, and using Super Comp, we've got them over top of these woods. Now, I do want these woods to also feel a little more spooky, so I'm going to apply some color correction on these woods here, and let's just kind of make them spookier towards blue, more greeny blue, and probably take the white point down some, but we'll boost the midpoint up, kind of bring some of that detail back. Ooh, wrong button. Detail back in the trees. Now, so you realize, you see that the After Effects comp window doesn't update live while you're messing with the super comp things, but the super comp panel does. So I can see what I'm doing over here. Darken up the sky a bit more. Brighten up this. Make that sky certainly bluer. And you got some spooky woods. Let's make it even misty, spooky woods. So there you go. There's that. We can turn that kind of down some back to handy little let's go back to the basics thing here. You can have it be none or as much as you want. And there we go. So now we've got our little spooky ghost floating in the woods here. I do think that this glow might be a little too hot. So let's go back to our ecto effects. And you'll notice that Super Comp does work with all the effects being applied in After Effects. So I've got the tint and the ecto and everything on this layer, not universe modes, not curves. Get rid of those things. Don't need them. And Super Comp works with them just fine. Let's see. Let's go to the glow settings and let's say, hey, maybe the spill intensity should be greater. No, that's the wrong way. Outer intensity. There we go.
I'm back.
Bring it down some. Hey.
Wonderful.
Spill width.
All right, so I have no idea what your
Make it glow in more on our ghost.
Looks like over there, but
oh, hey, is everyone seeing it okay?
it's probably a little. It's It's kind of the max res I can have it at for here because it's literally capturing my screen to do that. Anyway,
All right.
on my screen, I'm going to open up the images that are the result of me painting. So yeah, I know these are the wrong color. What's kind of fun about them, first I'm going to go to the image size. I didn't go set the texture default before I output it, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to set it to about 4K. And then I'm going to do that on both. Image size, 4096. These are just the two color channels that I exported, which are basically the unwrapped thing that I just painted on top of these stems and all this pumpkin skin.
Jason Murphy wants to know, are the Action Movie Kids alive?
The Action Movie Kids are alive. At least one of them, for sure. I should probably... I know I'm broadcasting to the channel as well. Yeah, Sophia walks home, but it happens to be during the showtime. And as the weather gets more and more inclement here on this Canadian island, they hadn't checked in. And so I was just wanting to double check that everyone made it home properly. All right. There you go. Are you happy? There's my perfect pumpkin color. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to brighten up this pumpkin a little bit, just like that. And then I'm going to go to my plugins in Photoshop. I still have, Michael, I have your screen up large. I can switch back and forth. What I should do is I need to figure out how to do that. Actually, here's what am I looking for? Okay, I have you there. And what if I switch to here? What if here I add a video? No, what is it called?
Hang on, while you worry about that, I'm going to sing this lyric from Michael Pawlak that just got landed in the VFX and Chill chat. Action movie dads with the pumpkin kids better run faster than the magic bullet.
Well done. Okay, you can see me actively try to make
magic bullet.
the Michael picture-in-picture. Here we go.
Speaking of magic bullet, let's magic bullet things up. I'm going to use this shape layer as an adjustment layer, so I can just very quickly get an adjustment layer without cluttering up my solids panel or solids folder with a bunch of adjustment layers. You just hit this toggle adjustment layer thing here, and you've got an adjustment layer. I'm going to call this magic bullet looks, and I'm going to apply looks to it, and we'll get ourselves some spooky ghosty looks here. Let's see, we'll hit edit on magic bullet looks, and we'll go into our ghosty looks. Let's see here, probably some colorista to do overall color grady stuff, some diffusion to make it feel more filmy, halation obviously, renoiser for sure for that film grain. Then do you want to make it look like it's on film? Let's do that. I'm going to turn the grain on the film effects off because I'm using renoiser, which has a better grain control than these two things do.
I'm going to hide my my shared screen is in front of all those handy widgets at the bottom there. What do we call them officially? Tools. The tool chain. Love it. Oh, whoops.
Just a little bit. Okay. So I've got most of the things turned off. Halation, I'm just going to set this to be vintage 35 millimeter, which you shouldn't notice it. You should not notice halation, but it should just kind of be felt. Like right here on this edge, you can here I turn it off and back on. You can feel it right there. Like if I zoom in real close, you can see the difference. Halation off, halation on. But when it's full, you shouldn't really notice it, but you'll feel it inside. I've also got the renoiser. Let's do some film grain from. Let's do some alien inspired one, maybe. No. Yeah, we'll do that one.
Lovely. Down
All
here
right, so we've got
on
some
the
green.
bottom picture-in-picture, I'm just doing a little bit of Photoshop. I'm taking my my really crappy version, and I'm just going to blur it out, kind of like crazy, like this. And then I'm going to sort of turn the opacity of that down, so I have kind of a hazy look here. And then I'm going to use a lovely plugin from our own lovely guest, who we need to have on the show. Once Seth's back, Jason, you got to come on the show. Prepare some stuff. Consider this your warning. People don't know when there will be guests on the show. They just get the call on the day and are live on the show no matter what. But Jason, what is the name of the official release of this? Jason has shared this lovely thing called generative fill, which is actually just an automation of the way you can set a selection and then set the selection's opacity to less than, I'm hearing we lost Michael's sound.
Just for a second.
Oh, I bet when I switch to my screen, I haven't shared. I don't have your voice turned on when I'm maximized. So I'll just keep myself small. So, if you wish Photoshop had adjustment layers, it does, actually. They're right over here in the bottom. But I'm not going to use those right now. What I'm going to use is, now that I have this sort of like blurry, vaguely pumpkin image thing going on here, I'm going to go up to generative fill, which is a form of the content or the generative fill with an F. This is with a PH. It's very small, so you can't see that I'm referring to two different things. Jason Murphy's awesome script, which is called the Gen Fill Tweaker, and available. I should be able to share that in a moment here. It's a lovely thing, which I feel like people should honestly. It's probably going to get built into the actual infrastructure, but Jason beat them to it. Yeah.
Oh, Paul says he wants adjustment layers for blurs and filters instead of pre-comping with smart objects. Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be nice.
There's a lot of things After Effects has that I wish Photoshop had, including the ability to edit your lens flare reasonably.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the lens flare in Photoshop is amazingly ridiculous. And the clouds effect in Photoshop, also stupid. No controls or minimal. Like, I want fractal noise in Photoshop so badly. And I don't understand why they don't have it. Like, it makes no sense to me.
They have generate
They
clouds.
add all kinds of crap. Yeah, and generated clouds sucks so bad.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this very blurry image. I'm going to select all of it, and then I'm going to type in pumpkin skin texture map, high fidelity. I don't know. Photograph. All right. And I'm going to turn, there's this little slider I have that either favors what the image looks like already, or you can dial it all the way to 0 where it's just what you're typing in the prompt. This is making use of the fact that generative fill is at its core a diffusion model. So and diffusion means that you scatter all the pixels into practically noise, a noise pattern. And then from that noise pattern, an AI is trained to infer patterns from noise patterns and force them toward sharper and sharper photographs. That's the exact right description of what a diffusion model is. But I'm going to turn it slightly more toward prompt and a little bit away from the image because I want it to more closely resemble this photograph. Okay, so what I got here was too much toward prompt, but check out this craziness that it generated based on my prompt. Okay, so clearly that was too far. So I'm going to dial a little bit more toward the image, and I'm just going to try that again. We'll select all, and I'll say generate. It's just taking this random orange pattern and trying to turn it into something that more closely resembles this prompt. Okay, so what do we get here? We got a couple of interesting things. Ooh, that's pretty interesting. And you'll see what it does is it's taking, my prompt, but it's overlaying. Here's the change. Here's what I gave it, and then here is it trying to make it more of a pumpkin texture, which is pretty cool. And now that I have that info, I could it's weird because it kind of cuts off at the top and the bottom, but as y'all know, I could select the top here. I could select this little slide section here, and I could select this here. Oops. Select all these pieces that don't quite fit into our pattern that we're trying to establish. And then I'm just going to press Generative Fill, not the plugin, but the After Effects tool, without typing anything in there. I'm just going to say Generate. And what should happen is it's going to try to guess what this pattern was. And it guessed that, and it guessed this. This is great. I'm going to flatten all that and press Save. And now I'm going to hop back into Cinema here. And even though y'all laughed at me for this weird thing, whatever was going on, just for the sake of clarity, I'm going to create a new texture. I'm doing this in standard, but I want to do it in Redshift eventually. So, fine. Let's switch to Redshift. Then I'll create a new default texture. I'll double-click that open here. And if I go to my, I'm just going to do it from here. Halloween, elements, 3D stuff. All right. I think that I just saved over top of the original one, right? So I'm just going to drag that TIFF in here, and I'm going to connect it to my color channel. And then I'm going to, I'm going to modify a few other things. I want the roughness back there. And then I'm going to apply
Darren wants to see your window bigger.
Fine.
Frankly, so do I.
Fine. Okay, let me make sure that I have Michael available in here then. Let me switch to Hashi here and...
Boop, boop, a doop.
All right, can people hear Michael?
Hello, I am Michael, and I am a talker. All right, you go ahead and keep talking, and we'll wait for the response.
Okay, so what happened now is I now got this cool texture back from that diffusion pattern, and it's much better than what I had painted on there, which was more watermelon adjacent earlier. And what's kind of fun about this is even from here, if I wanted to, I could kind of go over top of this and say, stick to the image, but try again making this into a pumpkin skin kind of texture map. And I'll see what other kinds of varieties of detail it could add. So there's that. Ooh, there's that. You know what? I kind of like where it was to begin with.
Excuse me.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as a JPEG just for the moment, because I want a smaller size to work with. And then I'm going to go to a fun, let me find it off. Oh, by the way, here's this generative fill tweaker from Lightning Plugins right here. So search for this. Look at that. I'm going to copy and put this up on screen for a second. So get this. It's a very, very helpful plugin. lightningplugins.com/free-downloads. All right.
So you've got one in the chat saying hello idol on the Action Movie Kids YouTube from a name that I cannot pronounce. I'm so sorry. Wick Lam. So I'm so sorry about that pronunciation. And Peter from Slovakia says hello.
Hello.
Let us know. I know Darren's watching from Germany. We got Slovakia. Where else are y'all from? Let us know in the chat.
Absolutely. All right. So the next thing that I'm going to go to is this lovely page, cpetry.github.io. If you just search for normal map in Google, it's the first hit right here. And what's kind of cool about this is you can click here to upload a picture. This is why I saved it as a JPEG for speed purposes. I can upload the image that I just generated, and look what it's made me over here, which is pretty cool. It automatically infers a normal map from here that I can download as whatever format I want here. So I'll download that as a PNG for the moment. I'll save it in my 3D stuff thing. I should probably rename it a little bit more distinctly. Pumpkin normal map, and then go back to Cinema over here, and then I'll pop open my Redshift material, and then I'll drag in that normal map that we just created, and I'm gonna map that to the bump map here. And let me see if I have it correct or if I have it inverted right now. I want my bump map, wherever that is. Bump map. Whoops. All right, it's using this. Auto. Okay, we'll see what that looks like. So either way, I'm getting a cool kind of conversion of my lousy texture to something that looks a lot better. I could probably want to turn up the shininess a bit here too. I'm going to map this image to the roughness also. I feel like they actually kind of correlate in a decent way. And then we'll go to basic here. There we go. Now it's slightly more shiny, maybe too shiny. Let's go to the roughness, and we're mapping it to this, but I'm going to say turn its weight down a little bit. And then if I'm worried if I start my in my Redshift render, it'll be ridiculous. But here we go. Now we've got a slightly better looking textured guy right here. And I'm going to go through and do the same process basically for the stem right now. But Michael, I can share back to you in the meantime, I think. I just assumed
Sure.
I could.
Hang on.
Let's see. Oh,
yes. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm ready to go. So
Excellent.
in my Magic Bullet looks, here is before looks, and here is after. Everything feels much more part of the same scene because I've got that film emulation and wash across everything. Here's how it kind of looks like in motion. We've got some really kind of cool things happening in Magic Bullet Looks to do all this. Let me pull up the looks builder here. So I've got some lens distortion, which I like to put on stuff just to help everything feel like it's in the same scene, even if it wasn't. This is really great for putting on 3D renders because it just makes your straight lines just a little bit less straight. I've got some colorista. I just boosted the saturation just a touch on there. Some optical diffusion, very subtle. I'm using the Soft FX Full emulation, which all these settings below Fast Bloom, so starting from Tiffin Pro Mist down, are all built based off of real-world lens filters. So you get some glimmer glass there. I might do that one. Anyway, I got some haze flare, which is more of like a kind of flare that happens when light hits a lens. You don't really notice much happening, but I crank the exposure up there. You can kind of see what it's doing. It's kind of flaring the whole image kind of out. But I just want a tiny touch of it. So like again, before, after. Then some shutter streaks on there, which is emulating what happens when the shutter doesn't quite sync up with the film correctly. That happens in broken or cheaper film cameras. Then I'm using the Fujifilm Real 500D cranked the saturation up some here too, and made it a little bit more towards the on the vintage modern slider towards vintage, just a touch. Again, like I said, grain to 0 because I'm using Renoiser to actually fully rebuild film grain. I've got halation, vintage 35 on there, and film print. I'm printing onto the Fujifilm 3521 XD. And all that together, don't say if any of this changes. Actually, I did want to say whatever, it doesn't matter. But gets you this result here. So things just feel a lot more together, and it has more of that spooky film vibe that I was going for with my little ghosty here. So those are just some of the tools I used for this one, and of course Super Comp to make this ghosty fit in with the background. And I barely did anything in Super Comp as far as a work goes, but it made a huge difference. The before and the after in Super Comp.
That's
It's kind of
wild.
neat. Yeah, I just did some color on the background, and then that heat blur on him, and it just makes like all the difference in the world on how this piece looks. Without me really, really like you watched me do it real time. Like it didn't take me long at all. Like a minute, a minute or two, maybe. Why is my After Effects interface blurry? Because Skype crashed and Hashi's having to do something very funky to get my screen across on the stream.
That is
Um,
true.
so,
Yeah, I'm
uh,
literally capturing, instead of getting to directly port Michael's screen feed into the stream, I'm having to capture it from my monitor and send it forward to everyone. So over here, I just wanted to
and
show
here you
if
go for
oh,
better shot design. I'm moving his face over the dark tree
oh, thank you.
for better shot design there,
It's
so
a
you can actually see
classic.
his
We've
face
talked
more.
about it lots. The whole additive character over a bright background. It just
Hmm.
doesn't work.
Right. I picked a bad forest. If I were a professional uh, working on a film, I would have said, nope, background needs to be black for this kind of ghosty effect to work nicely, or dark at least. So there you go. Now you can actually see his expression. Oops.
Perfect. I'm going to switch back to me for just a second to show what I've been doing is, so I had that, paint like lousy painted stem texture. I made a couple copies of the layer and made them blurry, and that'll just help this process. But I then fed them to the thing and said, this is a gnarly up close bark texture. And here are some of the results that I got, which are pretty cool. This one is pretty close to what I was hoping for. So I'm going to save a copy of this as a JPEG as well. Not always recommended to save all of your textures as JPEGs unless you are chasing the the quality of stuff that we produce here on VFX and Chill. But I'm going to feed this bark texture also to the normal map maker and to save this bark's normal map. Bark, or I guess it's the stem. I know I said bark, but that was the thing that I thought that the diffusion model would recognize a little bit better. So now I'll go back into here, and then I'll create a new redshift texture, and I'll drag in the the stem normal map and the stem color right here. Oops. Put that there, this down here. Slide that to there, and I'll slide this to the color, and it might even double as my roughness map. And if I do those two things, oops, I should probably go to the actual material too and just double check. I want the roughness to be, oops, higher. All right, now I'll try dragging that onto my stem instead. And whoops, I didn't do a very good job of it. But you can see that it's a pretty cool texture. I actually want more detail in it. And so all we got to do is go back and do more. So I'm going to continue to try to do more. Michael, should I go back to sharing you?
I do not have anything to currently share at the moment.
All right, I'll keep myself up for a second. Here is what I was working with. obviously. And so I kind of got to this stage, which I like the look of, but it didn't feel like it has enough texture in it. So what I'm going to do is just boring actual Photoshop modifying. Let's see. Let's grab kind of this sort of tone, and then I'm going to go to, let's open up my brush panel for a second. I haven't done this in a while. Let's see. I want some kind of, I'm really in Photoshop to try to curate my brush collection. So I don't know what I'm going to end up with here. I'm looking for something like this. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's make the brush size bigger here, and let's pick one of these other colors. And I'm going to try doing this. Let's make this a soft light blending mode. Let's make the opacity of the brush 53, and its blending mode also to screen, so it multiplies itself. And then I'll make its angle like this. Then I'm just going to go like that. Oh, that wasn't enough, I guess. Maybe I do want this to be. Okay, so I'm adding these weird extra lines here. And they look crappy, I know. And then I'm going to grab a dark color, and I'm just going to paint over those. Let's multiply. This is so bad. I just want to feed the thing a little bit more detail so it looks like something even cooler. So here's the diffuse model one. And if I turn up my layer with just a little bit of detail like that, I'm going to try going over it with the thing one more time. And I'm going to say texture of a bark stem plant. I don't know. And we'll follow the picture a little bit more closely this time. But this will make it slightly more organic than these nice fat marker lines are implying right now. So we'll see. Ooh, that's wild. That's wild. Okay, so I'm not getting enough detail out of this additional layer that I added. So let's go into here and turn up the contrast that was in it. Oops, we'll even use the legacy to go wild. I just want more stupid little details. Let's go to filter. Let's go to the pixelate. Let's pointillize this weird layer. There we go. I'm creating my own weird pre-diffused pattern. Okay, that didn't work at all. Michael, I swear I've done these things before in real life. But
in real life,
I've totally done this before. I just want more details. That's all. I know I could have painted this in Substance or something like that, but I just really wanted to show off this weird.
Substance would be
this
good.
one
And
weird
there's a
thing.
good Adobe Substance bundle. If you don't have any of them, that would be a great thing you can grab off Maxon's site. Get all the Substance tools and all the Maxon tools in one handy dandy bundle, or you get the Substance tools and After Effects and all the Maxon tools. Like there's a couple good bundles out there for the grabs.
Excellent. I'm going to use just what I use whenever I need to cut out my hair from something, which is the smudge brush with one of these type of brushes. Whenever I try cutting my hair out from something, it doesn't look that good. I just do this at the edges, and it adds a lot of extra hairish detail.
Oh, I do want to call out hello to Michael Pollack from Chicago, Mr. AE4D from Florida, Jason Murphy from Orlando, Florida, John Birmingham from Ireland, Dances for Peas watching from sunny Dallas, Texas, Judah VFX, hello in Philadelphia to you.
Well, how did you?
Some nice.
What a rundown!
Some nice says they're currently in a city that plays other cities in the movie, so I guess you're in Vancouver. And of course, yeah, so there's lots of fun folks from lots of fun places. I meant to say hi to y'all earlier when you called it out in the chat, and I just got distracted.
Well, hi to y'all. You know what? I actually kind of like how how just my smudge brush worked. I wonder what it'd look like in the thing. Okay, what if I then tried to do the same thing that I was talking about earlier on this really spread out pattern? And by the way, I know that it was pointed out earlier, but I am colorblind. Whoa! Well, that was the wrong prompt. Okay.
I
Interesting.
mean, you say wrong.
Wow. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go back to bark texture. And I'm going to turn it slightly closer to my image now. I just want a little bit. Because I want this to still guide the like direction and flow. Oh, look at that. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. Okay, so look at, yeah, where we started was this. Did it open? Did I click on the wrong thing? Oh, I'm still working in it. My thumbnail is still the old thing. Anyway, we
You
did
can go
we.
to you can go to your history panel to go to the very beginning.
That's a good point. You know
History panel, top right.
What?
It's right there. I can see it. To your right, way to your right. The history panel is already on your toolbar to the right. That's your left. To your right, right there. Up one, up one, two,
What?
that one.
Oh my gosh, I don't do this
And
often enough.
scroll up to the top, and
Okay, look at
that's
that. It
what
was
we
this
started with.
crappy little thing. And then now we're all the way to here. And I like it. I'm going to adjust its contrast a little bit. Again, I don't know what color it's supposed to be. I just know that it sort of it feels
Seems
like a
right.
stem to me.
A little bright, but we'll see when it gets applied onto the thing. Don't forget to save it as a JPEG.
Yeah, let's see. Let's save it here
Just kidding.
as
Do not do this.
don't
Do
do it
not save
this
as
way.
JPEGs.
I have my weird fixed ways of doing this. We're hopefully mercifully coming to the end of the stream soon. I think everybody. Let's see here. Let me replace this with elements stem color 3. All right. So let's see. Hey, there we go. That's some more stuff. It's too shiny. Let me deal with that. I maybe don't want to use that anymore. Whoops. Disconnect. Why am I not disconnecting properly?
Just select the thing and hit delete the line.
Oh, that's easy. I usually do the other way. There we go. Okay. Okay, so there's that. We could also run our new thing through the crazy normal generator. And I'm going to try to save this over top of the other one because I don't want the other one. Replace. So you should always save all files as JPEGs and write over the files of pieces you're using. That's advice from Michael Zalapsky. Follow it to the letter always.
Yeah, that's definitely what I say.
I was saying that. Okay, so now let's see. We might as well go to our content browser and type HDRI, and we'll grab one of these fun, maybe this evening kind of thing. I'm just going to drag that straight into the viewport. I'm going to hide the asset browser. Now we've got this, and let's just see. How does this look? Let's see. Me starting this might kill everything, but if it doesn't, it'll look really cool. I have every program on the sun open right now. Yeah, I didn't like it. Okay.
Well, if you're if speaking of the asset browser, just sparked something for me when you're ready. I have something I can show on this side as well for
Ooh,
another spooky thing for the spooky season.
I would love to see some spooky stuff. Okay. Minimizing
Let me know when
myself
you're
for a
ready.
moment.
Yeah. So in the asset browser, if you type in head and go into the scenes, there's this collision deformer scary head. You just bring that in and ho ho! Check this out. Isn't that
What?
scary? Spooky and scary.
The
It's
straight
demonstrating
out of
some of the
Peter
cool features,
Jackson's
right?
Frighteners.
And pause it. I love that it automatically plays because it can make you jump out of your seat if you're not expecting it. Um,
Oh, uh, no, Michael. Apparently, I your audio was not working. Shoot. Whoopsie. Da, 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 da. Okay. I'm sorry. I totally had Michael off in his own screen. That's crazy. Sorry. Michael,
okay,
speak.
should I start again?
I'm so sorry,
Hello?
everybody.
Am I hearable? Can you
Ah,
hear me now?
can we hear Michael now? I've now fixed something.
Still no?
Okay. So yes. Oh, it could be true that it's when I hide my screen, it's not playing you anymore. Weird. Okay. Now they hear you again. We're
Yay.
back. Sorry, everybody.
All right, so let me try to see where we're at. So you go to here, you type in head, you grab this scene, and what it's doing is it is using the collision deformer instead of doing actual full dynamic simulation. So the plane's points are just being deformed by whatever is put in here in the collision. So if I turn this plane off, you'll see we've got these uh, not at all disturbing models here that are
Oh
just
man.
doing a quick kind of dumb little animation, but once you put them in front of this, you get oops, no, I want to turn those off. You just get this really cool creepy effect, especially with this light coming up from below. You know, uplighting something with spooky red light always makes it look, you know, most spooky. But yeah, the collision deformer is great for doing like you can do footsteps in the snow with it, which is neat. You just put it on the snow, and under the fall off, you can. Let me just say, you've got all kinds of really cool options on here. The structure, the stiffness. What's the structure do? If I turn these things down and I play it back. Anyway, you do neato things with it, uh, and it's just a good way to get this stuff without actually having to run a full simulation. And you can put the jiggle deformer after it and all kinds of things. But I just wanted to show that you mentioned the asset browser, and being that tis the spooky season, I was like, there's a spooky little scene in there for you. So there you go.
I love that. I hope people grab that and make something extra cool and scary with it. If you have
It's
made
fun.
anything exciting and cool and scary for the Halloween season, we do also love sharing people's work and things like that. And so, if you have, please do feel free to share that with us. Down probably in the description for this video, there's a link to the suggestion box, which has the option for you to share any cool VFX that you've made with us. to make requests. If you see movies out there that you want to know, hey, how did people do that? Could you break down this specific effect or that specific effect? And we can then cover it on the show. So please feel free to participate in that way. It'd be pretty fun. All right, I'm going to turn off my... I think I can't capture 4 parts of my screen and stream and run the Redshift browser, but I do have this beautiful holy pumpkin right here. That could maybe use an area light or so, something like that. Let's grab one of these. Oh, I don't like this. Goodness. Okay. I don't know entirely what I've done here, but my whoops. There we go. Turn this down a little bit. This is a weird render, but I kind of like it. Got your ghost up there.
Indeed.
All right. So let's do that. Let's turn this. So obviously, my quick UVing of this ended up with some kind of weird, gross little bits. But I do like that I was able to start with such a crappy design and not design, a crappy like painted texture on top of these and turn it into something that looks like it was more thoughtfully done with what hopefully in the end looked like a small amount of work. Oh, Michael, that looks incredible.
So much fun. Now, if you had this like on a background, you could use Redshift to give it some transmission and blurs and subsurface and all this kind of extra roughness to make this look like some sort of spooky, deformy thing just floating in the air. Or you could render it just in black and white with some smartly placed lights, and then use that in After Effects or Nuke or Fusion, wherever your compositing app is, to make it, deform the background and give it kind of that spooky look. You got a couple different neat options here. Although right now I have my little ghosty head. I feel like the sphere should be a little taller than this, so it's not so like rounded looking. Let me make my sphere more visible here. Scale it. Let's see. Scale. We'll just scale it up this way. Move it down a little bit, and we'll see if that is terrible or a good idea.
I like it.
Oop, nope. Poking it through at the beginning. Did I? Oh yeah, I set a keyframe. Haha.
Yeah.
Let me move this up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Classic. Nope, still not working. It's poking through. Did I move it up far enough? Move it up a little further. Oop. I may need to make more collision settings.
You can just Command D or Control D on your computer. Go right to the simulation settings, and
yep.
There we go.
Collision passes.
Just do 4.
Let's try. Oh, okay. See if that works better.
Okay, you were probably right. That's pretty cool. All right. Last couple of minutes here.
Yes.
I like it. I like it. I feel like I don't think there's anything else that I should do in the next 5 minutes that won't probably break everything horribly. So I'm gonna stick with kind of not doing much aside from maybe I'll make a little disc right here that I let drape over my object. Let's go to our cloth. Fabric. I'll try this curtain number 2 or curtain 3. And then we'll give this a simulation tags, collider, simulation tag. Oops, I got to remesh it first. remesh. Throw the disk in there. And NB. Let's see how many things there are. Symmetric in X and Z. Great. And see, the mesh density is higher. Yeah, around there. All right, simulation, tags, cloth. There we go. And I'm going to press play here. And here I am making my ghost pumpkin. And I'll put it in a subdivision surface just so it looks a little bit better. Excellent. Michael, are you just silently doing stuff? I want to make sure your audio isn't gone.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just letting you do your thing. Well, we got like just like minutes left.
Minutes left.
I
Excellent.
got another meeting. I have to chat to folks in shortly anyway, so we can probably be wrapping up soon.
Excellent. Well, as we wrap up, folks, I really enjoy when you come join us for VFX and Chill.
Indeed.
We especially love it if you can join us on our VFX and Chill channel. So in case, now that we're at the end of the stream, you don't have to skip anything like that. Click over on YouTube to VFX and Chill and just hit that subscribe button. We love it. And it's a nice visible metric for us to share with our superiors at the old Maxon factory. So we'd love if you would do that. I'm going to add just a few more collision steps to my scene, and then I'm going to call it a day for what I've got here. Okay, let's see. Cloth, do your draping. Beautiful. Oh, Michael, you got some craziness over there.
Yeah, I forgot I animated this camera.
Goodness.
For those of you who saw my tutorial, you'll recognize this. Let's see. Did I not make colors? I thought I made colors on this thing. Color, there we go. I want some color. So I'm going to say I want this color of these particles to be, you know what, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
We got no time. We got no time.
It's so hard.
There's
so
time.
many things we would love to do given more time on this program, but we really are right at the end here. I'm just trying to create my little pumpkin ghost so I can maybe make a little render of it, and then that can be the end of my contribution for the day. Michael, really great tips on cloth and things like that, from subdividing the surface properly to all the cool ways that you can animate them and get some really cool lift and drag and good-looking ghosty effects. And
a fun ghosty effect kind of day.
It was.
Yeah.
And I especially love that all of you who stuck with us through all of our exciting. When we lost Michael to the other side for a while and had to speak to him through a medium until we got Michael actually back on the show. What a fun way to enter the holiday season. I'm going to try clicking back to this our main screen here, and have no idea if I have your audio added here. It looks like not, so I'm going to quickly make sure that Michael's sound is included here. There you go. I think that they can hear Michael now. Oh.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen and make my face way bigger.
I love it. I think that we should do it next time. But anyway, thank you, everybody, so much. This was so lovely. We are back, I believe, with all three members next Friday for another exciting episode of VFX and Chill. Thank you very, very much for joining us this week. And subscribe, do all the fun YouTube-y stuff. And we will see you next week, folks.